Live. Hey, everyone.
Hey, what time is it? You're not supposed to have that much coffee in you at the end of the
Renny,
day.
honestly, this has got to be like the 5th or 6th. Today is going to be a lot of trouble. I'll tell you that for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of coffee.
Right, everyone, I want to say hello and welcome to Bead Maker and Coffee, the 2.0, which is an idea Bob had for, hey, let's take everything the amazing team have done and change it up a little bit. So we were in the Facebook community asking questions, seeing what you guys want. And I'm super excited for the first episode to have the man himself, Bob Phillips, and Renny with us here. And of course, I suppose I should introduce myself, Alan Medcraft, and I'm going to be your MC. I promise it won't be me talking all the time. It'll be the guests.
There you go. I like it.
So let's get a quick catch up. Bob, what's been happening in your day? Or should we, in fact, cover exactly what we were all just discussing before we went live?
He's trying to learn how to use ChatGTP better for cartoons.
Renny he wasn't a fan of his image.
No, pull that up. These guys look like rock stars, and I look like Elmer Fudd, you know?
I think I can. I don't,
Yeah.
You know what?
Well,
I
Renny,
don't want to.
It's fun. Hey, man, if you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of? You know?
I liked it. It gave me more hair.
There it is. It's on the background now, but you can't.
That's funny,
it blocks out all our faces.
That's
but
funny.
That's all right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Anyway.
I loved it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was, I don't know. Alan, do you guys watch the Super Bowl?
So yeah, I caught it this morning. So I woke up and had a quick look just to see who won, but I didn't stay up to watch it. I've been, well, we'll talk about it later. What I've been doing the last 2 weeks. I've been busy since Mobile Tech, Bob.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time for staying up for the Super Bowl. Sorry, not American enough.
Yeah, the game was terrible.
Oh, was it?
Didn't you think it was terrible, Renny?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, Bob.
Oh, good for you.
We had a nice dinner last night, and we were just relaxing, and one of my teams wasn't there, and I wasn't feeling it. Feeling it. We had a cool weekend. Diane and I got to spend a little time together and kind of recover from Mobile Tech. It was a busy. I was gone for just over a week. Oscar's gone for a week and a half, and I mean, you guys have been to Mobile Tech before. Was that incredible or what? What was the energy? I mean, it was like, what the heck?
Wild. It was super wild, Renny. I'll tell you one thing, though. We will update everyone what we're doing, Renny. Look at you jumping forward, you cheeky monkey. I'm going to be strict when I'm the host of this show, and that is for sure. So here we go. Today,
I'll play the tape.
That's right. So in 2.0, guys, what we're hoping is we can bring you an update of what we're going to be covering in the show. We're going to be in the Bead Maker and Coffee Facebook group. So make sure you're in there asking us what you want to see, what guests you want to have, and then we'll bring them on here. And of course, we're going to have the live Q&A. So we're going to have a quick catch up with the guys, a bit of product talk, going to have a recap on Mobile Tech. Renny, I'm going to do a whole section on that. Going to see what Bob's vision for 2.0 is, where this is going, what we hope it's going to be for you guys. Because at the end of the day, it's for you. You guys watching this, the PNS community, everyone in and around. The detailing community as it is. And then what's coming up next? What are we working on next? Then we'll dive straight into the live Q&A. So please do put your questions right now in the comments. We're on all of the platforms, right? We're on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, streaming all around the world right now. So get on those comments, put them in there, and later on we'll pull them up on the screen. So yeah, what has been going on? We've talked about you guys call it the football.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. Well, we hosted a Super Bowl party yesterday at my house.
Heck yeah.
Which was fun. It was beautiful weather. We were outside. I had an outdoor TV plus the TVs on inside the house. It's just kind of a celebration, but the game was obviously I think pretty much what we all expected, but it was not. I think the bigger news for me is that Lindsey Vonn crashed. Right, that's what crushed me.
Yeah, that was a
girl making a comeback at 41 years old. Hit the top gate with her right arm. I mean, she's probably going like, man, I was trying to cut it close and I cut it too close, right? I mean, yeah. So that was, to me, that was bigger than the Super Bowl, but yeah.
Yep, ditto. And a lot of people say, her knee. No, you know what, man? She was chasing that. She's going 70 miles an hour. All that tells you she's going for it, right? I mean, she was balls out. And I think it's just such a cool story, that we can use in business, is don't give up, and you're never too old. Everybody told her she was too old to qualify, and she made it happen.
And everybody loves a comeback, right? I mean, yeah. So
especially when you're sporting an artificial knee and then you blow the other one.
Yeah,
kind of says
pretty
something
cool.
about you.
Yeah. But Alan, not to circle back to you as the host, but let's talk about you being the host, right? I mean, I will tell you, I remember I reached out to Renny. I said, because we want 2.0 to be different, right? We want to honor,
Right.
Sydney and Keith did a fantastic job on this, and there was one relevant comment that Sydney made kind of during our debrief when she was getting ready to leave and stuff like that, and we were going through everything that she has done for us on Instagram and Bead Maker and Coffee, Bead Maker Lounge, all that stuff. One of the things I thought was really great of Sydney, she says, I want to still see these things be successful because I put my heart and soul into them. So, she doesn't want to see them end. So, but we wanted it to be different. And then, Renny and Renny said, yeah, we got to do it. I mean, Renny, we got to do it, but we were like, it's got to be different. And so really, it couldn't be Renny be the host. I couldn't be the host. Number one, I'm not a very good host, but then I remember I text Renny, I go, what do you think about Alan Metcalf being the host? And he goes, brilliant, right? International
Done.
And just the style, Alan. It's
he's kind of cute. Yeah, he's kind of cute.
Yeah,
he's cute.
So I think
you gotta have a bit of something on screen, right?
Yeah. I think it just delivers on the promise of doing something different and bringing somebody in that is part of the family but still independent. I think that was kind of what made Sydney unique, is that she was part of the family but she still ran her own business. And so I think that, having a host that kind of checks those boxes going forward is pretty cool.
No, and I'm super pumped. Thanks for the opportunity, guys. And you can probably guarantee Sydney will still be in my ear, nudging forward what the 2.0 will look like, 100%. I was catching up with her about the Super Bowl.
Collaboration.
Yeah. But the one thing I do like and always have liked about PNS, and it's what drew me to PNS, Bob, and thanks again, as always, many years ago for inviting me into the PNS family, is how connected you guys are with the industry. You're at events all the time, your Facebook community, you really listen, and I think every product is driven from that feedback. It's not like you look at the range and there's a gap, so let's fill it. It's always like, this is what the details are asking for. How can we solve that problem? So that was the bit I always enjoyed about it. And I hope with 2.0, we can continue that, where we're really engaging with the viewers. They're getting the information here. And we'll talk later on what we hope to bring into 2.0. But I guess right now, we should probably go into product talk. So what have you guys been reaching for lately that's been working from the PNS range, and why?
Go ahead, Renny.
Well, yeah. I had a situation just a couple weeks ago with a friend of mine.
Oh, there it is.
Odor, yeah.
This product, I forgot how good it is. Is that we had a friend that had a real bad problem. I brought it in over the holidays, treated it, cleaned it up, and then put this to work. And I was blown away on the ease of use, but how well it worked. And it was a really stinky car. And our trick to this one was, it was an SUV. We put one in the back, one up front, ran it, recycling the air. But the key was getting the substance out that caused it, cleaning it, letting it dry, putting some dryers in there overnight, making sure it's 100% dry, then doing this, and then finishing the detail out. That was the key. But I'm not sure when the last time you guys used this, but I'll tell you what. It was a game changer in odor control. Unbelievable.
No. Yeah, Renny, to be honest, my one's going to be in tier 1 too. Mine's is going to be express, but I'll come back to that with you asking how soon. It was probably about 6 to 10 months ago when I got a shipment in for UK. Actually, I made sure some Odor Doc was on there, and I was so glad it was. We had a Subaru Forester had come in where the gentleman had acquired this, passed down from the family. It'd been sat for a while, and sure enough, he got in it, and the smell was vile, as it had been filled with rodents that had gone and lived in the trunk and in the front. Now, weirdly, they hadn't chewed up a lot of the interior. They just obviously found it a warm place to be, and they were attacking the clothes and other things in the back. But once we removed all that, 2 of those off, and it was incredible. We just simply vacuumed it out and gave it a wipe down. We were doing it more for it to sterilize before we go in and really kind of get in there and get stuck in about. So we gave it a very quick vacuum, got rid of that vacuum bag, and then let one in the trunk off. we had the seats down so that it really circulate through. Went and did our cleaning, and then we just kind of put one in the cup holder at the end of the detail and just left it in there working overnight. And when we come in the next day, honestly couldn't believe how it removes the odors, especially, you always think rodent urine and poop, and that's it. You're never getting rid of that smell. But it worked great.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact you brought up Odor Doc, Renny. I don't think we've ever talked about it on this show. It's kind of like it's kind of like a lost, it's a product that we have that people don't really talk about. And quite frankly, I remember when we launched it, and I remember the video, you did one of the best videos on YouTube on that, which is, really, it's, really important that you follow the process, but they're definitely really successful. That the Odor Doc works great. Yeah.
Do you feel that, just to circle on that, or do you feel it's just because people think it's an older technology that something's replaced it? Or do you think there's a fear of using a product of this type? People hear, letting off tablets or leaving these things in their vehicles. Do you think it's a fear? Is it misinformation? Why do you think people don't pick this one up as much as the more trained professional detailer does?
I think they just don't know about it. And I think they're not confident in how well it will work.
Yeah.
And, it's going to depend. I love the fact that you brought up, sometimes we will pre-treat. We'll just let it loose in there because you don't want to get in there. It's nasty.
Right.
And then we'll come back, clean it up, make sure it's dry, and then hit it again. And, people say, man, that's, using 3 or 4 of them, but you're charging for that. Or if you're using it yourself on something, how bad do you want it out? We're just blown away. But I think it's a lack of knowledge of just how well it works. Now, I don't think they believe that something that simple can work that well. And it does.
Yeah. Well, maybe later in the show we'll talk about a new section.
We still sell a lot of them. I mean, we do sell a lot of Odor Doc. We still do, but it's not one of the things that's commonly talked about. But odors in cars that's a big issue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Massive.
Especially this time of year, and especially in parts of, America right now. Out west, we haven't had a winter, but, in the Midwest and South, people are kind of locked up in their cars, and it gets a little steamy.
Renny, I'm going to ask something. It's going to seem off topic but it's about odors. I mean, people smoking marijuana in cars is like, man. Oh my God. Does Odor Doc work on that?
It does.
Man, that's huge.
Alan said it. Pre-treat it. Just let one go. Just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Set it in overnight. Then come in and detail the car. Then make sure it's dry and do it again. Wipe everything done. And it's amazing. Now, it might take, again, more than 1 or 2 treatments. It might take 3. But that's even with high-end $1,000 systems. That's the case with them, too. You're going to spend some money. So it's getting the substance out, in this case, marijuana, getting it off all the hard and soft surfaces you possibly can is going to be key. But it works really, really well. We, being in California, being that, it's legal, and so many people do it now.
Renny, remember you were at our shop, and one of our employees, he wanted us to detail his car. I go, we can't detail your car, man. It's like, it smelled like a,
Oh yeah. Yeah, Cheech and Chong movie,
Cheech and Chong movie in the car, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You start coming out giggling when you're finished the detail. Well, that was a real nice detail, that one.
Getting a little silly.
All right, Bob, what products have you been using this week, sir?
Well, I'm going to circle back because it wasn't the paint recovery series. I mean, I'm from Mobile Tech, right? I mean, the product, the intervention, rehab, therapy, I mean, just kill it. They just deliver every time. So that was at Mobile Tech was the last time I actually, used the product. So
something up and
I used, obviously intervention, rehab and therapy. So definitely game changer for me.
I think somebody we know did pretty well in that competition. Let's see who was that in that competition that did so well.
Second place is pretty good, I think.
I think when we tell the story, the viewers, I'm hoping we're going to get some comments on it, on how the viewers were seeing that one. For me, my chemicals, it's been expressed since I got back from Mobile Tech. I've literally been carrying my children from A to B constantly, and you just pick that thing up and throw it. Even me, when I landed, Bob, my van wouldn't start. It was frozen because we had terrible weather here, and in a rage, I then bought a coffee and I dropped it. So I just had a really terrible trip home since I left. And Express saved the day. It didn't start the van. I had to use some ingenuity to get that done. But once I got it home, Express tackled pretty much everything else. You can just, honestly, you can do whatever you want with that product. Just spray it and wipe it. It's crazy. I still haven't worked it out.
It is, it's our number one selling product in terms of units sold.
Yeah.
Not dollars, but units. I mean, the number of pints, number of gallons, number of fives, number of drums. We sell more units of Express than anything. So
you guys, do you have a bottle in your house?
Oh, I do.
Oh yeah. Can't go. Oh, look, Alan's gonna turn around. He's got it right there. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I use it. I use it in the kitchen. I use it everywhere. Everywhere. It's like it's like that unsung hero that people go, what's a unique use for Express? I go, around the house. I mean, it's just the perfect product.
We clean our engineered floors with it. It makes them look amazing, with having our dogs. Engineered floors, it does a good job. And it kind of lasts a little longer, like nothing sticks to it as well when you do it. So kind of another odd use. Right?
Renny, we do the exact same thing. Hardwood floors, we clean it with Express all day long.
Unbelievable.
It's the best. I mean,
I'm going to try that one in the shop.
You guys, we got a 5-day starting today, right? So they're sitting here. For who hasn't used Express yet? Have you guys used Express Interior? Oh, you're in for a treat. Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. See, we got fans here on it. It's just one of those products.
At Mobile Tech, people come up, they go, what's your favorite product? If I've never used anything from P&S, what should I use? And it's always Express Interior Cleaner. That's the lead in, because it's so, impactful for detailers in terms of making their life easy on cleaning hard surfaces inside the car. It's just amazing. Yeah.
So has that been it, gents? Apart from Mobile Tech, which we will talk about, the Super Bowl, what else has been going off this weekend, gentlemen?
Well, I showed up to P&S yesterday there was a car show of 500 cars out front. I don't know if you saw the video, Renny.
Cool.
So I knew it was going on because, Steven had mentioned it to me, but I was actually coming back to P&S to drop off the trailer because I brought the trailer home to bring my Heatlands home for the Super Bowl party. But I go, I'll go over, and as I was driving over here, I go, he's going to have a car show. And I showed up at at least 500 cars, like the biggest car show we've ever had here. And they got the music going, they got the food trucks, it was amazing. Yeah. So I showed up yesterday. I'm like, wow. So, I put the trailer in, then I went up and talked to Steven, met a bunch of people. It was pretty amazing.
Well, if you're local, if anybody's local and you haven't gone to one of those, Steven's done a great job of making that happen. And it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And there are some amazing cars. Whoa.
Well, and I would suggest detailers, if you want to host like a Cars and Coffee or an event like that, what Steven's done is he's just connected with the local community, like individuals who actually have a following and host these things. And he just invites them to our parking lot. So, it's not like he started with 1, 2, 3, or 4 cars and built up to it. He's got 4 or 5 people that he hosts these probably every other month. And it's usually, a guy who is just looking for a venue. And what's nice about our venue here is that on a Sunday out in industrial area, there's nothing going on. So we're not going to impact anybody. There's nobody out here. So works really well. And then, I just tell Steven, make sure you clean up. And when I showed up this morning, the parking lot's completely clean. They're really respectful. It's awesome. Yeah. Great way to build a community.
Community. Yeah. Nice. Well, I wish I was having a 5 car. I don't remember what I did. When did I do this? Oh yeah. I did a week's worth of washing. My wife had a big corporate dinner she was doing. So I was looking after the kids and then did all the washing. So, and then been working on kind of debriefing from MTE. So we slide into that one, gentlemen. Let's do a Mobile Tech recap. So come on, I'm going to say it so that it's not like the show's biased, but for me, it's the best show of the year. But for you two, what makes Mobile Tech what it is for you?
I was thinking of an analogy. It kind of reminds me of Mobile Tech is the NFC AFC championship game as it relates to football. And I mean that because you get the local fans, you get the passionate detailers, you get all that. And so it's like this, where it's big, but small enough to where it's all, the local people or the quality detailers that participate. And then SEMA is kind of like the Super Bowl, right? It's out of hand, it's not. So I just like the intimacy of mobile tech. I think I like to see a lot of distributors came this year for the first time, and the show keeps growing. And it's really the best detail show in the world. I don't think there's, you could say SEMA is a bigger show, but it's not the same. You don't get, well, number one, you don't have the education platform on Thursday, right? And SEMA is just sometimes so busy and so hectic with the scale that it loses its intimacy. So I just think mobile tech is a way for detailers to connect, distributors to connect. I mean, people host parties, people go. I mean, it's really a nice event.
Mm-hmm.
I'd echo it. I mean, I think it's SEMA's cool, but it's not intimate. You can sit down, we can have discussions with detailers, vendors get together and talk. 20 years ago was my first mobile tech. It's been going on for 25 years. By far, these guys blew it out of the water. It was so organized. The show floor is massive, and the people connection, Jim Gogan, Mark Johnson and I met there 20 years ago. And those friendships not just changed our businesses, each one of us changed our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it changed our lives. And you look at Education Day. I mean, the quality of education that was out there, it was amazing. I mean, some of these classes were standing room only, sitting on the floor. 20 years ago, there were 6 of us.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. I was sitting on the floor in your presentation, Renny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I came in too late. I came in, I had to sit on the floor next to Joab.
It was amazing.
You know better, Bob. You know better.
Yeah. And to ask when I got in the room, and I was blown away, the amount of people. But then I asked, who's here for the first time? Half the audience.
Many hands. Yeah.
It was like, whoa. It was just so powerful. And then to sit down and talk with, and I say young entrepreneurs, newer entrepreneurs, I don't care what the age they're at. Some of them are older than me. But to sit down and listen to their stories, and then you can't do that at SEMA. Or it's rarer. It's harder,
I don't know why, but you really can't at SEMA. It's like SEMA's kind of a spectacle. MTE is an event that everybody gets to participate in. So yeah.
It was I can't even think how long ago, but I think it was the idea that drew me to, I'm going to spend some money and fly out to this event. And I let my at the time, David Kendall, he was our president in the UK. I let him know I was flying out, and just like, I'm nervous. If there's any way you can help me do introductions. And he set me up proper. I think at the time it was Justin Lobato was the president, or he was just about to become president, I think. And he set me up a cropper because he was like, how many international guys are in here? And I put my hand up. And I think within 5 minutes, a few gentlemen were over, sat down like, hey, how's it going? And I was just made to feel so welcome. And I don't think there's any, from the international point, I don't think there's any show. You do a SEMA, you could go into SEMA, walk around, speak to booths and leave and not really feel like you connected. Does that make sense? Like not really feel like you belonged in the industry, like that you got that connection from your peers or connection from the people that you look up to. But when it was mobile tech, wow. And then from there, look at all the relationships we've got. And in essence, it put me on this show as we are right now, is that making that commitment to go out to a show like mobile tech. And another scenario where I picked up exactly what you said, Renny, where it was new faces. We won't hide away from the fact that, we lost 2 OGs in the media world. So I'm sat there on the P&S booth thinking everyone's not going to come over. They want to go and see beautiful Sydney somewhere else, and they want to come and speak to the guys that they all know. And our booth was stacked out. People that still want to come talk about P&S. It was stacked out with people coming who are interested in what is P&S. And that blew me away. I think sometimes we get lost because we're in it all the time, that we get lost in that we forget that P&S is new for someone every day. And they were coming to the booth like, what is this? And how can you help? And I have this problem. And from someone who's at the event, hosting and being there as a source, it's really fulfilling when you get to, in essence, you're just passing on the same knowledge as you do as an instructor. But every time you do it, you really get to touch or change lives when you're doing it. It's super interesting. I was not expecting that many new people. I was expecting to stand there and everyone going, where is everyone? So I don't know how that show gets better every year.
Well, and Renny mentioned it. I mean, the exhibit, the team that runs that Mobile Tech this year, it was our 25th anniversary, and they just checked every box on a promotional side. They did a great job. You knew Mobile Tech was happening. The competitions that are happening now, which is just creates an element of fun. It used to be they did the PDR Olympics, and detailing didn't really have anything. And then so last year they did the paint competition for the first time. And, there was, I think, 45 people that entered the paint competition this year. And I know I watched it in 2025 and said, I was talking to Jason Rose because he's kind of, was overseeing running it. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to make sure, it wasn't a buff off, like your panel's shine. Two guys looking at what panel's shinier, who did a better job. And the fact that they've made that so professional and made it, fun and entertaining, right? I mean, it's a challenge. And so, they're adding crazy things like that are just checking the box for the industry. It really continues to bring the industry together. It's kind of like, it's our philosophy where, if we're all successful, detailers can be successful, product companies can be successful, everybody can be successful. So, I mean, Mobile Tech is a shining example of that, where, everybody's doors are open. It's time to come together, and, you can walk in a competitor's booth, see what they're doing, talk to them, everybody. It's just it's such a good environment. Yeah.
We witnessed the PDR guys gravitating over to detail.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was pretty cool to see the guys. If you guys don't know, you can see them a mile away because they're carrying rods, different push pull tools, around in their backpacks. And it was, when we first started going there 20 years ago, it was a PDR show. I mean, let's face it, it was probably 80% PDR and a little bit of film. And now, what do you think it is detail wise? What percentage is detail?
I don't know if it's 50-50, but it's probably 40-60. Would you think? I think PDR is still
strong.
I think they still,
I mean, yeah.
Whether it's strong or not, PDR still have their swag. Like, I'll go there and say that's a different breed of people. The PDR guys, they have so much fun and they get dressed up, and you see a PDR guy walking down in a detailer, you're like, he's a PDR. They just have a certain swag about them, and I love it. I love their energy big time.
The first year I was there, I go walking around the corner. I don't know what to expect, right? And there's a guy in whitey tighties, no shirt on, a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, pushing dents in the Dent Olympics. And he won.
That's their one blow off of the year. It's like they're serious all year round, and then, like, woohoo, no one's watching, let's go. It's a fantastic.
I don't even know who the guy is. I just call him whitey tighty every time I see him.
Well, I think what's interesting to me is to fly to Mobile Tech, I don't know how many years we've been going, Renny. You've been going longer than I have, but I've probably been going 15, maybe.
Right. Yep.
Probably.
Yep.
Typically, I always get on the same flight. Alaska Airlines would fly direct from SFO to, Orlando. And there's a famous PDR guy. His name is Daniel Grom. And, for the first couple of years, I'd get on the plane. I was wearing black. He'd get on the plane. He was wearing black. And I just kind of recognized him. And then, 2 or 3 years into us getting on the same flight every year, I talked to him at the airport, and he really filled me in on PDR, because on the West Coast of the United States, we see PDR as what's called door dingers, right? And I think that's what they call them. Those are guys just remove dents out of doors. PDR is hail chasers, man. It's the guys that, and they, and I never witnessed a hailstorm until I was in Colorado 2 years ago. And the alert on my phone went on, like, hey, there's a massive storm coming. And then the hail came, and my rental car was outside, right? And I mean, it had 2,000 dents all over it. And that's what the PDR guys do. They'll show up and they'll just work for a month, and they'll make a killing. And he says, it's all about, getting, finding the holy grail of a storm and making a living. And Daniel Grom would say, a PDR guy had a good year when he shows up at Mobile Tech with the biggest, baddest truck, because he had a good year. So he bought a big truck, right?
Yeah, to dodge some tax.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. Well, as we're on, that was your chemical choice for the week. Talk to us about the paint competition. I will tell everyone first before it happens. And you are right. The thing I like about this competition is, this comes from a place of love, Bob. Bob didn't come second or win or be high because he's Bob. The amazing thing about this competition is the human element completely removed. It's all done by machines and templates. You have 5 minutes to remove 1,500 grit sand and marks by hand, uneven. So everything we teach you in a class about being even and using as much as you can, that is all out the window. They make a horrific mark in the paint, and you have 5 minutes tops. The timer goes, and you do whatever you want. You bring whatever tool you want, whatever pads, whatever polish, and at the end they have this amazing template that goes over in the same place on every panel is measured. And then it's a numbers game. Maths kicks out who is the winner, and that part of it is what I love. But Bob, talk us through what I like about you is you watched it, and it sounds weird when we say this, that there's no human involvement, that it's all done by machine. But then I think that completely removes the you're only going to win because you're the favorite or you're a bit. So then that is why it's fun. It's fun because you can just go for it. There's no ego involved in that way. It's just, let's have a go and see what the machine says.
I think the camaraderie amongst the competitors was what made it fun. You know, there was a guy, right next to you. There's you could look over and see the person doing the same time slot, right? And everybody knows this is, it's just kind of a crapshoot. You got to trust your technique. You got to trust the fact that you know what you're doing and see how you stack up. And
everyone can see you. Like, there's no hiding.
There's no hiding. And it what happened to me is I watched it in 2025 and I went over and go, oh, this is amazing. And I saw it in 2025. I said, oh, I'm going to do it in 2026. And then, I decided to do it just because I thought it was good for the industry. Right. But I also, our paint recovery series is so incredible. And it doesn't get mentioned in the paint correction conversations. And it frustrates me because when people talk about cleaning the interior, our carpet system comes up, Express comes up, there's all kinds of products in the conversation, but we're in the conversation when people bring up what's your favorite paint correction product, rehab, intervention, therapy, they're not making an impact. So one of the reasons I really wanted to do it, number one, I thought it'd be fun. And number two, I wanted to showcase, the amazing products that Dave built and how good they are. And so, I had no idea, I looked at it this way. I went into it going like, and if I got top 10, it would be amazing. Right. But you really have no idea. And the funny thing is I actually had Renny send your paint gauge up here. And the whole point of getting the paint gauge was to test to see, what impacted the paint gauge. Right. But the sad part is it got here so late, I never got to test it. So, I just, Dave set up a panel, a 9-inch by 14-inch panel. He sanded it to 1500. And I practiced, one day just to get my timing down because you have 5 minutes. So, I just figured, well, I'll compound and correct for 2 minutes. I'll polish for 1 minute and 45. I'll final polish for 1 minute and wipe it down. And that's all I did. And, got second. So it was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So if there's any actual detailers watching, take that system and do it and you'll come first next year.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're Bob, you're CEO.
It comes from a place of love, but Bob says it himself, he's not a detailer, right?
I mean, Renny, it's so funny. Jason Rose said to me, says, Bob, when was the last time you corrected a car? Before the competition, I looked down and I go, I don't know, 2022? Like, yeah, a long time. But, the interesting thing is, and this, Renny, we polished a lot together. I pride myself on, paint correction because I've done it my whole life. So it was really just, it's kind of like detailing. Trust your technique. Don't overthink it. Do what you know how to do and see how you stacked up. And the interesting thing, though, is I finally got to see the actual results. Do you realize the difference between first place and third place was 0.8? And the difference between first place and second place was 0.4. Less than a point.
That meter's
on a
badass.
scale, what is that? Like that sounds crazy close. That sounds
like it was close.
Close.
It was close, and I think the meter. That's why they take 5 readings, to get the average. Because if you take 1, right, it could just be crazy good. So they do 5 readings to get an average, and that and so it's based on the amount of haze that you removed. So if you remove all the scratches, you want a 0, right? And then if you create the highest gloss, you want a high number. So it was a calculation based on that. So it was just really cool. I think everybody that I saw, that did it got a huge kick out of it. I recommend everybody does it. It's so much fun, and people watch. And I was watching some people were sweating, and they were all fired up.
They're going, man. They're going.
Yeah, they're going.
We made a little suggestion to Mobile Tech next year is to get some of the guys that, like you, I applaud you for going out there, right? You did it. But I was talking to them. They said, well, how can we get like guys like you, Jason Rose, Mike Phillips? And I said, you know what? Let's turn it into a fundraiser and let's do it blindfolded. Let's have a real one. Let's have the detailers in the field, the guys that own shops, do it. But let's bring those of us that have been out of the trenches for a while and do something that's fun and challenging. Still see what the results are.
Yep.
Let's turn it into something where we're giving back to a charity of your choice if you win.
So it costs $100 to enter. I know there's a cost associated with it because they get those panels painted, right?
Oh yeah, right.
So they have to have. But I would imagine that does that extra money go to the IDA? I don't know where it goes, or maybe it costs $100 per person to run it. I mean, it's not. I got to give the staff credit.
That's a lot of panels.
It's a lot of panels, and people are staffing that all day long. So
it's 24/7.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's super
but technology,
cool.
how cool is it that technology's changed where you can have a meter like that for a couple grand now? We use it in training. These guys are going to train their eye on it because it's an absolute game changer because science doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Your eyes can trick you. We had a situation last month at the training to where all of us picked one that we loved, but the meter told us a fraction, 0.2, that one of them just was a little better all the way across. And it was our number 2 pick. We did it again. We did it again. We did it again. The meter didn't lie. It came up with the same readings. All 4 readings were the same. And I just think it's an amazing time to be a detailer.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. All right, so that was Mobile Tech, and I guess where are we at? Oh, geez, we're nearly 40 minutes in, and we still have to do the Q&A. Host's fault. I'll rein these guys in the future, I promise. But if you're enjoying it, let us know in the comments. I'm sure we can fire up. If there's just some good comments coming on, we'll fire them on the screen, and then we'll keep the questions for later on, just to see that you are all engaged. So we are here today because we're calling this Beadmaker 2.0. It's a vision Bob and I kind of hashed out over Mobile Tech. Then Renny came over. One of the few times, that's another reason Mobile Tech's so good. I actually got to sit down and have a good half hour, an hour with Renny, which never happens at any other shows because we're all here, there, and everywhere. Right. So, of course, we want to recognize, as Bob said, the amazing work that Keith and Sydney did and Kyle back in the day in kind of producing this for the P&S community. But, Bob, what do you see? What's the vision now? What are we hoping to bring in 2.0?
Well, one of the original concepts was to bring, guests on. And so I want to look at bringing, different, unique guests on. I can think of the CEO of ATG, Nathan Iverson. Where's ATG going? I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff there. There's a lot of amazing detailers. I'd love to bring an international community in, Alan, with your connection. Mm-hmm. I just think it creates a different audience, and it's an opportunity to, continue to expand on what, was started by Sydney and Kyle back in the day, and then Keith and Sydney. And just really build on it. I think the focus this time is going to be probably, unique guests, which was the original concept. We had guests on. And so we just kind of want to build on that. And then also take it, like I said, take advantage of the international footprint that we have, and the diversity of our audience and customers. Yeah,
for sure. As I say, selfishly for me, this podcast was always about the connection. I used to love coming on. It was convenient for me when you used to have it. It's around about the time I would be picking up the kids. So as I was driving to school to go and pick them up, I would just play the podcast live and hear the guys. And it was just like listening to my friends they were talking about what had happened. And I enjoyed that, but I like the connection, as in it just helps you get back to P&S. And I think if we do a couple of the tweaks that we're looking to bring into this, which is bringing in a few more of the education pieces, bringing in the product deep dive, which was asked about, and we're going to play around with this software a little bit more. I like the idea, and we'll see what you all think about it. Please do let us know, and we'll bring it up on the screen. About doing some pre-recorded deep dives. So that means either we'll go and see Dave, we'll go through a product and really dive into the science. That'll allow us to film Dave, film B-roll of it in use, almost like a micro how-to. This is where it came from. And then we can play it here on the podcast live, so you can follow it and then have a live Q&A session afterwards. So I think this is a really cool platform for it, because we get that intimate live thing rather than making it a kind of stale interview and putting it on YouTube later. I much prefer this live interaction with it. So I'm excited to see if we can pull that one off. Renny, what would you like to see come new with 2.0?
You know, I think when we launched Double Black, and it's in the DNA of P&S that, you know, Bob and Dave and their dad, their mom already worked on, it's the personal connection. And I think that we need to bring the little guys. I'm thinking of a buddy of mine. I won't name him now just in case. But he was here last month, and I asked him, I said, you know, he's a one-man shop, small. And I said, you know, what's your growth? What's your idea? How do you want to scale this? And he goes, man, I got a great life. I got a great lifestyle. So you making enough money? He goes, making plenty of money, but I work when I want to work. I can, you know, we all think about going big, but there's a whole nother side of detailing that it's such a great lifestyle if you make it. So I'd like to hear some of those stories, you know, of people that are not just going big, but, you know, they've built a life. And I want to hear some of the young people and their story that's coming up, that they're entrepreneurs, you know. And I'd like to get some DIYs that have successful careers, and they got cool cars. And we always say, Bob and I, we always talk about this, right? Is detailing is the new wrench, and people don't wrench on their cars as much. They go and they detail, and that's the wrench. And there's so many cool stories that we can hear and witness that maybe it will breathe a little freshness into those of us that get a little stale and we forget that we do something pretty cool.
Yeah. I think one thing about mobile tech too is the amount of people just entering the industry. There's a lot of people, I'm just getting started, or, you know, I got out of it and I'm getting back. I mean, I think, you know, that's huge. Yeah. So Alan, are you able to see all the questions and stuff like that in the chat? I'm sorry, I'm just being the background guy. Do you have access to that?
So as we're going everyone live, seeing us host this for the first time, I've got the little chat thing open. I can see it, but I don't know if they're coming up on the screen. I thought our guy behind the scene was going to be popping those up, or is that meant to be my job?
No,
Oscar, can you bring the questions up on the screen real quick?
We got some questions in here. Yeah.
There we go. There it is.
Yeah, so it's like we've got a Q&A section, so you know, we can keep the questions till then. But definitely, as we're talking along, I think it's super cool when people interact that they get that instant thing of they're saying good morning, they're saying good afternoon. It's on the screen, and then we can keep the question time for a Q&A. But that's something else. Like I say, it's all about the connection. We want to make sure that we're engaging with you guys. And if you want to ask us anything that you want to see in this show, if you want to say, Alan, you're doing a terrible job, come and hit me. You know. Get me in the Facebook group. So we're going to be in there, Beadmaker and Coffee Lounge in Facebook. I'm going to try and do a whole lot better engagement.
So that I got to do a call out on that last comment. That is Ed Hirsch, who's one of our legacy partners, and he said intervention saved the day. I'm like, yeah.
There's a story there,
right, Ed? You need to get into the.
I'll have to figure out that, right?
He's got
Ed,
a story.
you need to get in the lounge and tell us what that story is, my friend.
Yeah. That's what I want to hear.
Camera.
I want to hear it. Yeah,
that's what I'd love to see. Like these guys.
Just to talk about intervention, it's deceptively aggressive. I thought what was really interesting about the paint correction competition, and maybe you heard this, Renny, the detailers was like, wow, that paint was really hard.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And intervention corrected that 1500. Like, I probably could have stopped polishing halfway through. It took the marks out, right away. I was using a rotary with a twisted wool pad, of course, going, most aggressive, but wow, it cut those marks out. It's deceptively aggressive. Yeah.
And do you feel you only worked longer for the fear that you didn't get that scratch out, Bob? Do you think now you've had a go at it, 2027's your year, you'll be at the top, you know what you're doing now?
So Yeah, I mean, I kept buffing because the problem was if you don't get them out, right? So,
Right.
and one of the things about intervention that's so cool is the buff time is basically, I don't want to say indefinite, but it goes a long time. So it never dries up, it never dusts. I mean, those are the things that are so important about the PNS Paint Recovery Series in general, both rehab, intervention, and therapy. Is no dust, easy wipe off, long working time. I mean, all those things that you want. But yeah, I definitely kept polishing. But Alan, truth be told, and I'll tell Renny, I may not enter again. I mean,
you got to be one. Is that one and done?
I can only go down now, Renny. I can't,
That's why. That's why we're going to do the fun one. We're going to do.
Yeah, now you get to say. Yeah, you came second in the proper one. Now you get to do the charity.
Actually, the blindfolded thing is a hoot because I'll tell you what, you got to feel the panel, right? That would be like the craziest thing. You're like, whoa,
blind rotor.
And you got to sniff the product, and see if is this compound or polish. I mean, I think that
I will tell you, you're probably going to have to wear an apron because we're going to be slinging polish if we got it. If we have to go blindfolded,
if it's the charity one. You're wearing a costume, without a doubt. You're not wearing your work sweat.
Yeah. There you go. I like that even better.
You're going to be a tighty whiteies, Renny, like your friend.
Yeah. I was going to go somewhere. I'm not. Never mind.
All right, let's not. All right, so I want to make sure we have some Q&A time, and I think there's 10 minutes left on the hour. So I just wanted to look at what's coming up next, Bob. So on my little things here, and you've put them here, so we're allowed to talk about it, Bob. So there might be some knowledge bombs dropping right here, and this is why you got to tune into the show. The top one is PNS 2.0 training center updates.
Yeah, so that man, we're hoping to get under construction here pretty quick. So everybody knows we shut down our manufacturing facility, but we're still going to have a facility here in Hayward, and we're looking forward to getting 2.0 done, which is going to be a complete rebuild of our training center with corporate office, Dave's lab. Just a complete training center it's 6,800 square feet. So it'll be good size. I'm just excited to get, that construction going because basically, everything's coming out of PNS. It was a month ago. We had our underground tanks pulled out and our tanks are actually going down to Southern California. The above ground mixing tanks are going down to Southern California. We're going to hook those up down there. So yeah, 2.0, I'm hoping to be under construction in the next 2 weeks. Get that started because people are already, we're not offering training right now. And so people are like, when's your next training? Right. And speaking of training, I want to transfer over to Renny and go. I'm stealing your thunder, Alan. Go ahead.
You should have been the host, Bob.
No, I don't want to be the host. I don't want to be the host. I want you to be the host.
Are you looking at the same notes I am? What's going on here?
I don't know.
What you got coming up, Renny? Come on. What's this announcement we've got?
So, we've got our 1 day training centers, 1 and 2 day training centers nationwide, Oregon, Utah, Northern California, Southern California, Texas, New Jersey, Florida, Northern Florida, Central Florida, Southern Florida, and Michigan. Who am I missing? Yep, got both those. Yeah, Dallas. So
people could go to detailingsuccess.com and the class schedule's up there, right, Renny?
Right. Yeah. So we've got 41, soon 42 different events scheduled for the year so far, all over. It's probably going to be a shop within driving distance of you. So if you want to jump into these 1 days, it's a great way to learn. Still pretty affordable, great education, and we're gonna highlight the game-changing products within the not just the PNS line, but the entire ATG line. So you're going to get some added benefit to be exposed to some amazing products.
That's it, man. That's one thing I really like about this is, the PNS community, without a doubt, thank you. It's the whole reason I'm here. But to tie it in with ATG, I'm super excited to see what happens with that. And personally, we've had a little quick discussion on WhatsApp. How far could that go? There's a big pool of water, and we could just pick it up and go.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna be
we're
fun.
Looking at. We've got a gentleman here right now, one of our mafia members. That's Asia's kind of a target. And we're looking at Europe, and so there's a lot of growth. We've come out. We're going to have a bigger East Coast presence here in a short time. We'll leave it at that for now, and we'll share a little more on that. Probably maybe 3-4 months down, I can come back on and kind of share where we're going with that and what that opportunity means.
Nice. And what else have we got going on? So I've got SoCal store tour next week. Who wants to hit us with that one?
Bob, head that on up, and I'll follow up with you.
Yeah. So, Renny, myself, and Oscar are going to be touring, our Southern California clients, kind of do, meet and greet and connect up with them, kind of review the 2025 business, look at 2026 business. Detailing Success became our area rep covering Southern California. So now Renny and Oscar are going to be on the street, doing events with the stores, building engagement. It's kind of a new concept in Southern California. So we're going to kick that off next week, going to visit all the stores and share with them, our vision and what we want to do with that. So, and what I think what's kind of cool is, Renny mentioned it gets back to our roots of how we kicked off, Double Black, which was, the road show. And it's the most relevant thing for us to go out and connect with customers directly. So that's really the plan to kick that off, next week, meeting with our partners, and then build the plan for 2026 on events we're going to do in Southern California. So it's cool.
It's really about support, just getting out there and supporting them, and we're really, we had our ATG sales meeting that all of us were at, right? And oh man, that was cool. And then seeing the other reps from the other brands buy into all this and how much energy, I was blown away at the difference in a year at what the energy's done, in that group. And, them coming up to Oscar and I being the newbies, kind of in that sales approach, seeing them gravitate and support us and us support them, it was really cool. The energy was really cool.
We got a couple of questions. I'll bring one up. Like, let's see, Tony, Piver said, why isn't my favorite dressing talked about? Hawaiian Shine, right? There you go. Thank you, Oscar. Yeah. So interesting. Well, Hawaiian Shine, is an old school product. It's a solvent-based dressing. And the reason it's not talked about is because we can't ship it. So you can't buy it off any e-commerce site. So it has to be purchased through, a local distributor who stocks it, who gets, truck shipments in because of its flammable nature. But it's a really cool product. Yeah.
Great product. Old school.
So what we need to do, Tony, is go and find your local PNS rep and get them on the blower.
I love Dan Baker said, Bob, you didn't buy me a beer at MTE.
To be fair,
I missed out. I missed out on that one. Yeah.
On that one, we usually do quite well and attend a lot of the stuff. But for me, that was one of the busiest mobile techs we've had, even though we usually manage to attend everything. But we managed the ATG dinner. We managed to do the IDA. And then apart from that, there was always something else going on. We were preparing for something. We had a client meeting. It was just, it was chaos. The team, we got to figure out how to multiply, Bob. This is crazy.
Well, I think Renny kicked our butt. He did a lot more stuff than you and I did, Alan. I think
that was one night, 3 parties.
Yeah.
One night, 3 parties. Hey, while we're talking about this, Dano, man, that dude, Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Dan Baker, Hall of Famer.
Hey, man, congratulations, dude. It's
Dan Baker. He's an undiscovered hero in the detailing industry. When you think of Z-Bart, you could ask, just your everyday detailer in the States, what is Z-Bart? And they would go, I don't know. I think they sell undercoating. They don't even know. They are the largest franchise detail operation in the world. I think Dan Baker said they have 1,500 locations worldwide. Yeah.
They're badass. And that dude's one. He is one good dude. So we have him in the Hall of Fame. And it's men like you that I've watched through the years and how he keeps us cool. And
he's always been this guy with the advice in the back that all of us, Renny, were just kind of like, what's Dan going to say? Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, listen, it's very, very wise, credible advice.
Hell yeah. Been around a long time and it served his country. So thanks for your service, buddy. And nobody deserves this more than you. So such an honor to witness it when it happened that night. So congratulations.
And so we got Ed Marchese on here. He's Crystal Bright, our distributor up in Canada. We got
how do we get these up? Like, because I think it's my access level. I can't play with this. So I think
we're gonna have to get that, because I can see them all. So but we want you to see them too, Al. You're going to need to see them. So
yeah, we need to throw them on the screen. The other note I have here, what's my travel and schedule plan? So over the next 2 weeks, not a lot traveling. I've been spending a lot of time, I'm super privileged to be working under Bob, and wow, thanks, Bob. He's hit me with a fair ton of stuff this year. So I'm excited with what I'm going to be doing with ATG. So I'm building a plan of what the next, hopefully Q1, Q2 looks like. So that's what I'm doing in the background, as well as still helping my UK shop operate and planning this stuff out. So that my next 2 weeks is going to be hopefully getting stuff over to this guy, signing off on a few things, and I'm making a Q1, Q2 travel, because some of the people in this chat, I'm very lucky that I've seen them in the chat. I've seen their companies online when I've been doing YouTube, have just been assigned to me. So I have the absolute privilege of getting to work with some really cool people in the industry. And I'm excited to reach out to them, see how we can help as PNS. What can we do to help grow their businesses and support them? And just give back. That's what I like about this podcast. What I like about what PNS really stands for is being part of the community and giving back. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next 2 weeks.
I love what Jeff just said. He just asked, hey, anything new, in the works for PNS? Yeah, stand by. We're not going to blab it here, but there's a few things that, we're working on that are pretty cool.
Renny, I think your box from Northern California, if it hasn't arrived, it's going to arrive today, and there's something new in that box.
I like it. So we've been there's, like I said, man, there's a lot of energy at the ATG level right now. And I think we've all settled in, and we're just kind of looking at each other at that sales meeting going, let's go. We got a team. Let's go. Didn't you guys feel that way?
We did. So you were doing all those parties, Renny, and we were sat in the Airbnb just smashing all this stuff out, hitting all the ideas, hitting all the stuff coming in, giving feedback. You just go and party, Renny. We'll use you as the poster boy. It's fine.
Let's just say,
change my image. Some of this. No more Elmer Fudd.
So since you can't see, I want to say good morning to Sarah, Gabriel, Andy Stilley from Copperopolis, right?
Oh, right on.
Frank Opus, Jeff Harding, Pete. Just a lot of great people on here. Thank you for joining us. Cool. It's awesome. We really appreciate it. Travis Rook, Jessica Rook, Andy Van Order. Thank you guys. Bob Rassman for joining us. It's awesome. Yeah.
So how do we get their chats up? Like, surely we can have this. They come up on the screen, right? So we can start answering some Q&A questions.
Yeah.
We'll do some practice runs.
We can do a practice run for you, Alan. We'll make sure we get you.
Because I can see them, but I can't click them or do anything with them. So I can see, like, Carl's Garage has asked, can't get my words out today, has asked Carpet Bomber and Terminator, they've been good results. They're getting great results with them. Any update on these two products? And I always feel on that one, there it is, look at that. I always feel on this type of question, it's like, if it's doing kick-ass, why does there need to be a change? But I think if you're asking the question, is there a tweak you're looking for? Are you doing a new process with it? And you're like, hey, I'm now using it through XYZ. And if it would just do this, that's the stuff. If you can get it to us in that Facebook community, come and join us in the Bead Maker Lounge. That's where we can get that information back to Dave, and he can make those tweaks.
Yeah. I think the obvious on that one is that the one that's missing from there is finisher.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize the value of finisher, of neutralizing. You just don't get the re-wicking. You get a fresh smell. You get a natural brightener to the surface, to the fabric. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people don't use that total trio. They're taking the stains out, but really is the big believe it or not, the big hit on that one is when you finish it with finisher.
Totally.
Yeah. Also on the chemical side, people should know. I don't want people to think that we're constantly changing things, because that people would think like, that's, not what we should be doing. But Dave does, review performance of products. So like, for example, let's just take Terminator as, let's just talk about Terminator real quick. If he's got, the enzyme package that he's using in Terminator, if he meets with a raw material supplier and they have an update or they have an improved version, he'll build that product, he'll test it, and then, it just may be a rolling change just to improve the product. We may not announce it, but right. We're constantly trying to improve products. So I don't want people to think things change every day, because they don't. But if Dave, has an opportunity to improve a product, that could just be a rolling change that he does. Yeah.
Ah, cool. And I guess, I know I keep saying it, but it's where you're going to find me it's where I can get information to these guys and the HQ. But you know, how do you mention it in the Facebook group? And Bob, have a discussion on this. Like, if that's that, I think that's epic that Dave's constantly reviewing, so you know you're always getting the best performance out of the product that you're looking for. But is it nice to phase it through like that? So do you like the way we're currently delivering it, or do you want it to be there's a 2.0, 3.0? I can already know right now our boss Nathan and Bob, you're sat there going, do you understand how much that's going to cost in labels? Because we have to buy tens of thousands of labels to just put a version 2 or slap another slap sticker on it. But at the end of the day, we're here for you guys. So if it's not an
a
open
slippery slope, though, Alan,
right?
because you know, as soon as you announce 2.0, somebody says, "Well, I like 1.0 better," right?
Yeah, like
so you got to be. I mean, Beadmaker is the classic example. Everybody wanted Beadmaker 2.0. Everybody, and we stuck to Beadmaker because Beadmaker. I can't tell you how many people I see that go, I haven't used Beadmaker for a while. I pulled it back out. I used it. And I'm like, man, I forgot how great that product was. Right. So, but what we did is when we came out with Defender, that was essentially Beadmaker 2.0. We knew we didn't want to do 2.0 because people would want the old stuff. Right. So you got to be careful with that.
You know, it's funny. Yesterday we went shopping down the hill. We live up in the mountains. So down the hill, I'm walking through. I've got half the list. My wife, we're shopping for this class. So it's 2 basketfuls of stuff, right? These guys eat a lot. We make them hungry. And this guy walked by and we make eye contact. He looks familiar for a second. And he goes, Beadmaker all the way. And just kept walking. I was like, oh my God, that's unreal.
Renny, do you remember we were getting on a plane one time and some guy, Renny and I are walking down the aisle. We hear from behind us, Brake Buster.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that's unreal. You know, so
we had it. We had that, Bob. When I came over, so starting with ATG, I was very privileged, Bob, and that threw me in July 24, I think it was. And I was doing a tour of all the sites, you know, learn more about the company, make sure you want to buy in. It wasn't a here it is. So what was super cool is they really wanted to make sure this was the right fit. And we're flying from, I think we'd done SFO first and we were going down to California. And we're flying down and we were trying to think of brainstorming the names for intervention and bringing on the rest of the stuff from rehab. And we're talking about it, and someone behind us was just like, hey, Bob, you know, love your Beadmaker. And we were like, we're on a plane. Like, we weren't even branded. And someone's just like, hey, Bob. It's just the reach you guys have. And imagine being that person if they knew about PNS. Secretly, they were listening to the team discuss what's coming next. And
we were, Alan, that was a flight to the rag company.
Oh, that was
people
the
don't know that. We were
right,
just poking fun at, you know, rehab. What do you need before rehab? Intervention. What do you get after?
It was this whole therapy. How do we do this recovery? And we're like, is it going to be like a witching where someone comes, or is it more recovery from a physical point? So is it you're getting physiotherapy? And we're like, nah, but it is there. Oh my goodness, that was such a fun. It's like a 1.5 hour, 2 hour flight where we pretty much mapped out what the recovery system will look like from a naming and fun perspective.
Yeah. So I love what Lindsay Rose said.
Lindsay. High five.
Yeah. She said, I had a 2021 GMC Black, removed 3 years of car wash damage with therapy and a microfiber pad. Won't use a different pain correction product line. It just works and makes the shop smell good. That makes the shop smell good. That's, I mean, like when you're using rehab, you're like, it changes your life.
That's Dave. I don't think there's a chemist in the world that creates products that smell as good as what Dave makes them smell. I just don't. Yeah. I'm biased, but honestly, Dave's sense of how he makes things smell it's just stupid crazy how good he is at that.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Is that Joey He's coming in?
Joey Belinsky's there, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about you know, the carpet system. I tell you what would be fun is I like their podcast too, so I might have to try and get on there and throw the
it'd be you got to have those guys on now for sure.
Yeah, we got to have them on, because what's going to be so good is I'm very aware of these guys online, but because I don't always make it to America, so I've not done a Monterey, I've not been at events, I don't do TRC, I don't physically get to be with these guys apart from a quick high five at SEMA or Mobile Tech. So to sit down and have an hour with them and just pick their brains, that would be cool.
I want to know why Joey and Alex haven't come to Mobile Tech.
Huh.
You guys got to put that on your schedule.
Let's get it into questions. Do you need to sell Beadmaker shirts? I use Beadmaker a lot. Oh yeah. What's happening with merch actually?
That'd be
Because
cool.
we had this. We won't lie. There was a huge thing with merch, wasn't it? Where we're trying to figure out in ATG what we're going to do there, centralizing, stocking, everything else. But have you got an update on the merch side of things?
We
Bob?
still have all the merchandise here at Hayward HQ.
Oh,
believe it or
perfect.
not, we've kept it here. My vision is to have the merchandise at 2.0. That's going to be kind of our promotion tool. So that's where we'll be, when we're sending product to events, when we send crates out, things like that. I think all that will be stored at 2.0. That'll be a role of that, quote, our experience center. So I think it'd be cool. We'll try and maintain all that stuff here. Yeah.
That's cool. What else have we got coming up in the Q&A side?
Joey said that they'd love to have you on, Alan.
Joey, slide into my DMs, sir. I think I messaged you the other day. Just I'll reply to one of your comments. So yeah, give me a shout, and I'll sign all your waivers, whatever's needed. It's a professional setup. Their show, they're down to have waivers.
They're good. They're very talented. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. Hello from Michigan. What's happening, Rob? Tony, we talked about Jeff. High five. Good morning to you, Daniel Baker. You owe him that beer, Bob.
Talk about that. Let's talk about the reset. Somebody's talking about the sponges.
Yeah.
It's
what are you, Renny? Are you a reset cloth or a sponge? I'm a sponge guy. Just going to put it out there straight away.
Oh, it depends. We found out that my hand pressure on sensitive paint is a little better with the sponge, and then on harder, a little more challenged paint that's got a little more contamination on it, we like the towel. So I kind of split it that way.
I guess my preference more comes from doing wash clay seal technique. I personally find I prefer the sponge because it could just be me, but the sponge holds more absolute. So I just feel like it just feels better to me. And I think a lot of it, like we were talking about the polishing when it comes to the smell, it's just what makes you feel good about doing the job. And for me,
Absolutely.
The sponge hits the majority of it when it comes to the reset.
Yep. I find two different uses, and they both still in my hand constantly.
Mm-hmm. What's this? Still's mobile detailing. My products this week have been rehab. It's so dreamy to wipe off. This is so good. Sorry, I wish I could pop these up here and we could go through this stuff. But if we don't see any big Q&A stuff, gentlemen, what do we want to close out? So we're going to do this every 2 weeks, Bob? And does people like this
every
time?
2 weeks? And, I like the reschedule at 9 a.m. because it used to be at 6:30 our time. It was hard to get started. So I know people are like, why'd you change the schedule?
I'm the problem.
I think we changed the schedule so we didn't have to be on at 6:30. So, yeah. So, and
I
it's your
and
schedule.
I want to say I appreciate it to Renny and Oscar because we're now going to be at the start of their classes. So thank you, Renny, for adopting this into your schedule. How have your students found being part or hearing the first show live? I think he's listening to something else, is Renny, isn't he?
Can you hear us, Renny? Yeah, we lost him. Huh.
Oh, Renny's gone. Just pull him.
He's there, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, he's just smiling. Look at his worried face.
Trying to figure it out.
He's going to watch us back and be like, screw you, Alan. I couldn't give you any abuse back.
Okay, let's see if it's
there
back.
He is. There
he is.
Yeah.
We had a weak moment.
Yeah, I was saying thanks, Renny, because I know we changed the time to allow for me, my lifestyle, and what happens over here. And you've had to eat into an hour of your training that you have on a Monday. So we're just saying we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. They said that you guys are both cute, and it's worth it's worth watching you.
You always have to go there, don't you, Renny?
I do. You guys are both. You know
time.
what? Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob.
I was going to come out to Big Bear and try go through this 5 day and see if I can pass, but now I'm a little worried. I'm not
You'll do it.
You make us stay with you and everything, right?
You'll do it. We have fun. It's the funnest 5 days of my month, man. I just enjoy A, educating people, and then B, just helping people get to where they want to go. I mean, that's the Double Black lifestyle. That's what built the brand, and it's core deep.
It's awesome. All right, Mr. Allen, shall we shut down the
Yes, we are going to
Coffee 2.0 first edition?
Thank you very much for joining us on 2.0, guys. I've said it enough time during this. If you are using Facebook, come into the lounge. Give me abuse in there. Give me ideas. Give us feedback about PNS. I'll be in there watching it. The OGs themselves are in there, so they will respond. But if they don't, just tag me and I'll make sure it goes to who it needs to. That's going to be your main connection point for us. We really want to grow the community in there. And then we can talk about it here every 2 weeks. Catch us at this time. I don't know what the international time is. I know it's 5 o'clock mine, 9 if you're on the West. And you're in the same time zone, Renny, in Central. What's that, 2-3 hours on it? Lunchtime somewhere?
Yeah, 2 hours Central. So we're 10 o'clock right now. So it's 1 o'clock on the East Coast.
Perfect. If you're watching us on the old YouTube, make sure you hit the old subscribe button and hit the bell so that your phone does that annoying ding, because that's what used to happen to me on a Tuesday when I used to watch the guys. So that's what you want to happen, so you catch us on there. And if you want to be a guest, guess where you can find me to join. That's right. Come join us in the Beadmaker Lounge and give me a shout. Bob, any final thoughts?
No, nice job, Alan, for your first run. I think you're a natural host.
Have fun with it, dude. Have fun with it.
Thank you, Renny. I'll catch you guys soon. And for everyone else, ciao. We'll see you in 2 weeks.